Oh, he's cute. You have to believe in yourself.
Oh yeah, alive. I mean, otherwise you're not gonna make it.
Ben, it's about you. We're about to
It's about
turn up
me?
for you.
No, it's about you.
Now it's your time.
No, it's your time.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go, folks. Let's do this.
Trip Digital Radio presents LA Style Magazine. Tis the time. Marquita Monet and Trisha Love. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
Fabulous.
Crazy weekend.
Great week, man.
That was crazy weekend.
Just came off an awesome little thing, Women's Week, but we get into
Yes,
that.
yes.
Oh, so sweet.
Oh, Women's Week, man. I think it should be Women's Year.
Aw.
Last year
We were
was
talking
crazy.
about that, and you're right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Women's
guys.
Year. So let's give it up for the women.
Yes, indeed.
I love you, Mom. Yes.
That's right.
Aw.
That's right.
So we have a guy on the show.
Yes, we do.
So I can be a woman tonight if you guys like me. I mean, no problem.
As
I
we
can,
talk about it,
I
right?
can, my hair's kind of long, I can make that work.
I see. Well, let's introduce him, Trisha Love.
Yeah, we have with us Ben Snow.
Hello. Hello, everybody. You said it right. I
I
love
said it
that.
right.
Yeah, you did.
Actor and singer-songwriter. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks
I
for
love
having me.
it.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I had to get
Singer.
that German pronunciation in there.
Oh, you got it. Snow.
Get it,
Now.
girl.
I'm always saying, just think about the dog Schnauzer, and you got it.
You got
Ah.
it. Now.
Schnow.
That's
All
good.
When he
Now
said
that'll-
that, I was like, "Snow." He's like, "No."
I mean,
Snow.
it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Snow, like
He's
Ben
like, Snow, that's not
you
it.
know.
I
That's
like
not
it.
People told me I should use that as my artist name, Ben Snow.
Ben Snow.
You know.
Ooh,
Hey, that's
Kinda
pretty
cool.
That's kind of
Double
I'm feeling
meaning,
that
you know?
It just
vibe.
rolls off the tongue. That
Exactly.
works. That works.
Who
That
knows?
works.
Who knows? Maybe at some point.
I like
Maybe you
it.
can come out with your rap album.
Exactly, right? It sounds like a
Snow.
rapper, right?
Snow.
You know, I have
Snow.
I have a funny story about rap. I can tell you in a second, which was crazy.
Oh, we can't
gotta-
wait.
Oh, we're going to get into that for
I
sure.
want to know. Let's start by talking about where are you from. I know that you're from Germany, but
Yeah.
tell us about that journey and how you got to LA.
Oh my God, how much time do you guys have?
Hey,
oh
it's
my
on you,
goodness.
man.
Okay, so I'm from Germany, born and raised.
Mhm.
So I'm originally from Berlin.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Berlin area.
Mhm.
So you know the history from about Germany a little bit with the German Wall and stuff like
Yes.
that, right?
Yes.
So I was born in East Germany. So I'm actually the last generation born behind the wall in '87.
Wow.
Well, now you know how old I am. Damn it.
That's
Okay, anyway, so no, but I was born in '87 behind the wall, and then in '89 the wall came down, and that was the first time for my family to basically leave East Germany, right? So
Yeah.
my family basically lived kind of in prison for almost 30 years, right? And my dad just said, you know what? Now the borders are down, we can just leave. And I was basically 5 years old, so I didn't have a choice, So and we basically moved to Frankfurt am Main. I don't know if you guys know where that is. It's basically in the middle of Germany.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people just know the airport. So,
Mhm.
and
Right.
I was basically raised in Frankfurt. So I was always the East German guy in West Germany, which is kind of cool because, the mentalities, maybe it's the same like East and West Coast in the US. It's the same in North and South of Germany, right? So people are kind of different. So I'm really glad because I have both mentalities in a way.
Was it also in your voice and in the way you speak as well? Was diction different? Or
Right.
Yeah.
dialect or something
Oh,
like that?
yeah. Oh,
Was it
my
different?
God.
Okay.
Oh, Oh, my God. The dialect in Berlin is different.
See, because
You
I
could-
can't hear.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm
I know,
saying.
I
That's why I was
See,
asking.
your English is exceptional.
Yeah.
To say you were born and raised.
I was born and
Germany.
raised. Yeah. But the thing is, the interesting thing about Germany is that we learn English in school, right? But we learn the British English. So I used to say,
Ah.
"Oh, can I get a glass of water, please?"
Right.
So I was saying something like
Wow.
that, But it's kind of an interesting thing. If you go to Europe and you talk to people from Sweden, for example, or from the Netherlands, they sound pretty much like you guys. They sound very American, and the reason is because they have American television with the original voices, though.
Right.
The
right.
original
Okay.
sound. But in Germany, it's all dubbed in German.
Okay.
So we watch all the shows, like The Prince of Bel-Air was my favorite show as a kid. Like I love Will Smith. He was always this funny guy. We loved him.
Right.
But it was always in German. So he has this very high German voice, He sounds like that. Like,
Oh,
Will
they
Smith
had
is
like
very
that
high.
voiceover.
Like, hey,
Oh.
hey, everybody. Hey, it's Will in the house. So he sounded like that.
Wow.
And then I came to the US and I learned that Will has kind of a deeper voice.
Yeah, he's a little bit more sexier.
Yeah, I
he's
know.
got a
Than that.
little-
Yeah, not that
And
high.
Sylvester Stallone is very deep in the US, right?
Mhm.
And in Germany, he's very, hey, it's Sly here. Hey, how are you doing?
So they had the actors talk over probably
Oh,
in
yeah.
German. Oh, yeah.
Totally.
That's
So we have
hilarious.
basically one guy. So you can even close your eyes as a German guy and you hear the German voice and you know, okay, that's for Sylvester Stallone because he does it for 30 years already. So it's the same guy, you know, doing the same
Gotcha.
That's a pretty good contract.
Oh, that's for sure. Oh, that's for sure.
But that's crazy because you know when they come over here and then they see the real guy and
they're like,
who's that?
Exactly.
That's not the real dude.
That's exactly
I've heard
right.
something
Right?
different. That's crazy.
exactly right. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I can think about growing up as a kid. We used to watch karate flicks, but it used to be the timing used to be off with the voice.
Okay.
I know.
Want to fight? Want to fight me? I'll teach you. It's like, hold on. That's
Wait
not
a
the
minute.
voice.
Exactly.
And, you know,
That's a good one.
so what I just learned, guys, have you heard about the show Babylon Berlin?
No.
It's kind of a show on Netflix. It's basically
I'll check it out though.
It's actually really cool. It's about our history. You know, that's the most interesting thing about Germany, right? There's the history, obviously.
What's it called?
Babylon Berlin.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about it is it's a German production and was filmed in German with German actors too, right? And then the US bought this series, which was very successful and it's still very successful. And you guys, sorry, I have to say, you tried to dub it into English. But it
didn't work.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
Hey.
Sorry, I love you guys.
That's what happened to our karate flicks, but it was still good too.
It was still good. Sure was watching it with my dad.
That was so because the lady is saying something already, and then 2 seconds after, the American voice comes in. Hello. So, you know, wow. It's just funny to me because
funny.
But you guys are still good at making movies.
That is kind of
like,
crazy in this day and age for it to be mastered like that. It just come out, but real bad. Like we can expect it back from the
Right.
Now, seriously, come on, man.
But you guys are not used to it, right?
We got master engineers out here doing their thing. We can't get this right.
Like at least keep the voice at the same level. Like why is it a high voice?
Timing. How's our timing off? That's crazy.
I don't know.
We forgave them in the 90s with Samurai Sunday. You know, it's just like, yo, they don't have the technology to do this. Okay, cool.
Right.
We'll
Now,
accept a hair behind.
Right. But I mean, seriously, but I love you guys. I mean, I think a lot of people from Europe, they want to come to the US because a lot of people ask me now that I'm living in the US for a while. Are you not homesick? So don't you miss Europe or Germany? And I said, not really. Because for me, but when I came to LA, especially as a creative guy, and I landed in LA, I will never forget that. I was like, wow, I feel like home now.
Yeah.
You know, because people people understood me.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
it's kind of crazy. I mean, you got Germany to London and then to LA.
That's right.
But you sound like you got a little East Coast. Like your voice is like somewhere
really?
in Boston or something like that. It's got a little
Interesting.
something in it. So did you stop over there on the East Coast? Though?
Not really,
No?
not really. But it makes me very proud
Hey, you can
that
pull
you
it off,
say
man. Hey,
that I'm at least sounding kind of American.
you can pull
already.
it off. Yes.
Oh, for sure. Totally.
Okay, American roles, I'm coming.
There's some words you're gonna have to stay on. though, but you know, that's just
I know.
normal.
It's just like for us. I mean, for the Germans, pretty much, it's the R is pretty hard for us at the very because you say Richard and I say Richard. It's the same word.
Richard.
Richard. That's and you say Richard. But it's
a
for
little
us it's
sweet, man.
Richard.
So you guys
Richard.
put more emphasis, it sounds like, on the first.
Yeah, that's
almost.
that too. But for
Richard.
us, it's like it's like the Russians.
Oh, no,
you know?
I don't have all that.
Exactly. But Americans come from the front, like Richard. You know, from the front. So
Yeah.
that's
So
the thing we
proper.
have to kind of.
We're learning more about
Trisha,
ourselves.
you got that R in there, huh? With the
Yeah,
Latin in
it's-
you.
Yeah, you look kind of Russian to me. Actually, are you?
But
kind
her
of
R is
some Russian?
No, she was rushing here earlier. That's about as Russian as Trisha
That's a good
gets.
one. That's why you look Russian tonight. Okay, all right.
So she was in a hurry, but she was.
Trisha literally looked like she was about to say, could I see
That's what I was thinking.
No.
possibility? Let me check
I'm
my
Puerto Rican,
ancestry.
but we do roll our R's.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
So you should try to learn Spanish next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that.
I like.
So tell us about how being in Germany and London and now here, how that helped shape your creative sense in your songwriting
Yeah.
and your acting. How did
Right.
that?
Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, I started in music, right? So my background is in music. I was in a school choir. You know, my grandfather, he was a leader of a big choir back in Germany. So I was this young kid with this high pitched voice and stuff like that, you know? So that's how I got my start in the creative environment. And then at some point I started doing theater in my school, in high school. And I realized, oh my God, you can basically also do something to people, something positive to people. People have feel something while you're doing it on stage, right? So that was an incredible feeling for me. But I always felt like I mean, Germany is great. Don't get me wrong. It's a great country. But when it comes to the creative art, it's to anything creative, like music, painting even, and acting, it's a different level. You know,
Interesting.
you guys in the US and even the UK, it's a higher level.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you feel the same as an American, but for us coming here, this is a real industry you guys have. You know, we also have that. Don't get me wrong, but it's much smaller.
But would you think it's because of the wall and just the time, and because when you guys kind of sort of gained your freedom, you were kind of behind the 8 ball? Would you think?
Yeah,
like
you know what's interesting? A lot of people ask me that. Why is the film industry okay in Germany, but not as strong as the US, for example? And it has to do with our history. It definitely has to do with our history, because after it was all done,
I believe that.
Actually, it wasn't allowed for German people to do movies, because back in the days, the bad guys used it for propaganda. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, hey, you have to follow our party. And they did all these movies about that.
Right.
You know, and after it was kind of lost everything, everyone was like, no, the Germans shouldn't do any movies for now, you know? And I have a feeling, me personally, that it never really recovered from it, to be honest.
Hold on,
that's just my only.
So it was messaging that they were putting inside of the context or the content.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we got it from. Did you see the James Bond movies? There's all sorts of messages.
I think,
yeah. I mean, I know, of course, in every movie is a message.
And our montage here is put it in the art. It's like you want to start a war, put it in the art.
Right.
You know, so wow, I don't know if that
Sure.
probably came from you guys.
Maybe, but I mean, it was a little more extreme what they did. You know, you know what I mean. Like, I don't want to talk too much about it, but you know the history a little bit, right? So, and at the end of the day, I just decided to leave Germany and going to the UK, which is very close to us, as you all know. The UK is just 1 hour flight, so it's pretty easy for us. So I basically moved to the UK, and I still did songwriting and singing myself, and then also trying to get an agent and becoming more established in acting too.
Yeah,
and you know how it is. The creative thing is really something where you have to hustle, right? It's all about the hustle. I mean, we live in LA. It's all about the hustle in LA, right? Everyone is trying to make it happen. And when I came to LA, even in the UK, maybe I'm still too German, but I always have a plan, a recipe, you know? And I had this recipe when I came to LA. And after 2 weeks, I was like,
fuck the recipe.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to say
I was like, this plan is not working.
Nobody's buying what I'm cooking.
No, but seriously, because I was like, okay, I have this plan. I do A for getting B. I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But LA is really like that.
Yes,
you have to go, if you want to go here, you have to go this. So you have to go like this, and then maybe at some point you're gonna go there, and you're gonna be there, but you have to go to this direction first, and then you have to go to that point, and then so that was really new to me, and I was kind of shocked about it. Maybe I was a little bit too naive at the beginning. I was like, I'm smart.
Oh, everybody comes in here with that swagger. I'm back.
Exactly. And it's like, okay, and then I basically realized, okay, I have to. No one knows me here, obviously. You know, of course. I mean, and then I have to kind of establish myself. And also talking about, you know, music, I think music, the great thing about music is that you can still kind of connect yourself in a way, even if you're not like the greatest artist from the very beginning or an artist yourself. I think you can still meet good people in this town that you can write with, you can do music with, right? And then maybe eventually you have a chance to pitch something to someone who is more established, and maybe they're singing the song and do something like that. In acting, it's a kind of a different story, I feel, because you guys have the union. You have SAG, which is something we do not have in Europe. So in Europe, it's more like you go to an audition and the people love you and they say, yeah, we want to have you on that project. And it's $1 million project and no one cares about if you're union or not.
Right.
In the US, it's more like, how do I become SAG if you're not allowed to work on a SAG project? It's kind of a catch-22, you know?
It is. That's exactly what it is.
That was something I really needed to understand. Oh God, how am I going to make this work? How am I becoming like SAG, or at least SAG eligible? And now coming back to rapping, I had the opportunity to be on an Eminem music video.
How fun.
That was the funny thing about that. And that was like, because they cast me because I was at the audition, and then this casting director said, Ben, we just have a camera right in the corner here right now, and we just play you a song. And they didn't tell us which artist it was, right? It was top secret. And I said, okay. And then they just said, just move. Just move, man. Whatever happens, just move.
Hilarious.
And I said, okay. And then the music got on, and it was Eminem, the Venom soundtrack for the Venom movie. And I said, holy shit, this is Eminem. What am I? And I just went crazy. I do this crazy move, like,
Oh, it's turning up now.
I was trying to have a swag, but I think I didn't.
Well, they liked you.
And I think they kind of liked it though.
Exactly.
And then the funny thing is that they just sent me a text message, I think 11 p.m. at night, just a text message.
Yeah.
And then, are you free tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's
I said, who are you?
That's how it happened.
That was my first question,
how it
right?
happened.
And they cast me, yeah. And the next evening, we basically shot that music video in downtown LA on Broadway. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, oh my God, Eminem is going to be on set and stuff like that. But he was in Detroit. He did his part in Detroit one day before.
There you go.
So he wasn't even there. But anyway, so it was a cool project, and that made me SAG eligible.
Yep.
Yay.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
awesome.
I was like shocked though, because I expected to have this big project where I have to have this acting role, these huge lines.
Yeah.
And now I'm just doing now I'm just doing crazy moves for 5 seconds in the music video, and that's it,
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
There you go.
Hey, don't want to talk too much.
Now just come up with that $5,000.
Exactly right. Exactly. I was like, okay. Well, yeah.
I love that though. You got it doing the worm.
Yeah.
There
I mean, guys, I went into the office. I have to say that, and there were all these crazy dancers doing this popping and locking, and I just came in and said, "Oh God, I can't do that stuff. Right? That's impossible."
Right.
And I think they just expected me to do these crazy, whatever moves.
You
know, I don't know.
So, how would you explain to audiences the content that you typically create, as far as like your singing and your songwriting?
Yeah. So singing is very interesting because I'm very influenced by boy bands. I grew up in the 90s, so I'm a big NSYNC fan, Backstreet Boys. When NSYNC came out, oh my God, that changed my life. I mean,
so you're a fan of Max Martin then?
I love this guy. He's a legend in Europe. I mean, he's from Sweden, this guy, obviously. So he's a Swedish guy, and I feel like the Swedish, they're really good in creating pop music.
Absolutely.
It's insane. So Max Martin wrote all these songs.
Do you know why they're good at creating songs?
I have my own theory. I love the Swedish, but it's kind of dark in Sweden and people like to be inside. Yeah. So maybe they have more time to write more songs. I don't know.
Well, I'll give you a tip.
But
you have the English language.
Right.
And it's not their first language.
That's right.
So what they do, since they don't care about the language,
that's right,
they'll find melodies within how they say the words. So they'll just put together a bunch of words that don't mean anything, that sounds good harmonically.
Right. That's right.
That's what makes them great songwriters for the industry.
That's
There's
very
this book
interesting.
that I read. It's called the Song Machine.
I heard about that book.
Song Machine is a great book.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that to me.
Yeah. It's all about the whole Swedish movement, songwriting.
It's so fascinating that you say that because, I mean, even myself, I'm a non-English speaker, right? I'm German, obviously, native German. So, but if when I'm listening to these songs, even I can tell that it wasn't written by an American because it's very simple English. And I think at the end of the day, but the people back then didn't really care about it.
No.
And even one guy, an American guy, told me the other day, by the way, Ben, just to let you know, Hit Me Baby One More Time, the Britney Spears song. Even the Hit Me Baby doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't mean anything.
Right? It doesn't really mean anything for Americans, but it sounds kind of cool.
It is.
You know?
You're ain't nobody's bye.
Exactly.
Classic. Brilliant.
Exactly. And I have to say, to be frankly honest, in Europe, the only country.
I never think about that. That's true.
It's awesome.
Leave it to Journey. He will connect.
With the
dots.
It's incredible. And I have to say, I mean, I think the UK is the only country in Europe where they really speak like English as a native language, right? The other countries like Italy, Germany, Switzerland, we're all non-English speakers. And if we are listening to these songs, I mean, come on. We don't really care that much anyway, because we not usually completely understand the song anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds kind of weird, but we just listen to the melody and the hook. The hook is everything for me as a songwriter too.
Yeah.
And if it's like, oh yeah, that's catchy, I love it. We don't care about what is he saying. Like, you know, it's just, I think that's why it worked so well in Europe too. And I think that's why boy bands became big in Europe first. I don't know if you guys knew that, but NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys went to Europe first and then they came to the US, which is kind of crazy.
A lot of people actually do that. They
really?
For whatever reason, certain music, you know, they'll buy tickets and buy, go to different performances before they do it in America.
Interesting.
All the time.
Just interesting.
Just a little trivia because we're on this subject. Do you know how those boy bands got over to Sweden?
How?
Yeah.
I think Lou Pearlman sent them over, I guess.
My man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
you
Lou
guys
Pearlman.
are good.
Yeah. I mean, God bless him.
God bless him.
God bless him wherever he is. I mean, he didn't
Yeah.
really do it all right,
Yeah.
but he did some good things. But then down the line, he did some bad things too.
Wow.
But it takes bad to get good.
Yeah. Well,
And
That's right.
he created a whole new industry from what he did in Sweden, which is now K-pop.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. That's so interesting that you say that, because when I realized how big BTS became, I was like, wow, I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, because the guy who started that worked with Lou.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Really?
He was a Korean guy.
I didn't know that.
He left Lou after he had all his legal problems, and he went back to Korea, and he started the agency that started grabbing boy bands, girl bands, and all that.
So this Korean guy, he lives in the US all his life.
He went to school in the US, and he jumped on Lou's team to learn about putting together bands and so on and so forth. He was around with the Mickey Mouse Club when he grabbed Justin Timberlake and all those guys. And he was just like, wow, what do you call this? This is called something. And I think it's coined as social engineering. It's a coin called social engineering. And he took social engineering, coined it, and built K-pop.
That's that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it feels like that this was always his plan.
Yeah, right.
Like for so many years, and now he finally made it, because they are huge right now, even in the US.
Oh my
right?
God.
So many games.
Billions.
Sick money.
What do you think?
Like, don't let
the
them
main
keep it a
reason?
secret from you.
What do you think is the reason? Because I have a hard time. Don't get me wrong. The music is kind of cool, but what do you think is the main reason why especially BTS became so big in the US?
Well, because first of all, that's me right there. They have the right audience that have the money to buy.
Right.
So right there, people look at big artists based on the sales.
Right.
So you have the right audience. You have all of these suburban kids that see a representation of them, and they have the money to buy and spend. And so that's what you're going to get. Like,
Gotcha.
Seriously.
It's interesting.
You appeal to the audience that has the most money, and that's real.
Right.
And that appeal came from their voice, that what they were putting through, what the content was. Right. And their voice was connecting with that audience.
Absolutely.
That's where it is.
Absolutely, because I give mad respect to them, you know what I'm saying, because of their work ethic and stuff like that. But I'm not necessarily wowed by it, you know what I'm saying? But everybody that finds that connection, we find something that we have a connection to. And even then, some people may not have that money to invest into it.
That's right.
But they have the right audience, and learning how to appeal to the right audience will make a difference.
Social media.
Social media. I hope I kind of answered your question. Absolutely.
No, totally. Yeah. I also felt
it gives it more exposure, but still at the same time, nobody's going to hit click or keep hitting click on them if they don't like them.
Right.
Nobody's going to purchase, or stream them if they don't like them.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Or if they don't have the money to buy all of these different apps.
No, totally get it.
Because YouTube shut it down.
Yeah.
You're not getting it.
You got it.
Blocked.
I mean, sometimes I'm trying to watch some videos, like when I'm back in Germany, and I'm trying to watch videos from the US. It's not working.
Yeah. On YouTube, they're not playing. Wow. You're not getting their stuff for free.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's a great knowledge, by the way. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's a formula.
Wow.
It's
definitely a formula. So that means these guys are still working with the Swedish guys.
Yes.
So all the songs BTS is coming out with right now is coming from Sweden?
It's not coming from Sweden. I mean, they have their own songwriters, and this is what happened. Like, you had artists and producers like Teddy Riley. He was the first to go over and started working with K-pop.
Got it.
So they just grabbed a bunch of American producers that were like kind of B-list.
Teddy
and they went
Riley
over there and
started
started electronic and really formulating. Wow. But these are all hip hop guys,
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
But they knew where that money market was.
Absolutely.
He wasn't dumb.
Business.
I think Lou Pearlman said something very true back in the days. He said something like, as long as you have young little girls, you're always going to have boy bands.
That's it, Ben.
Yeah.
Forever.
That's it.
And it's actually true.
It's the cutest thing ever.
That's very true.
Those are the trendsetters.
Right? It makes totally sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, very true.
So,
So, as we get back into some of your things that you've been doing, man, I hear you got a little movie coming up that you've been working on. Is there something coming up that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So what we basically do right now, or what we did over the last couple of weeks, is actually like a musical movie. So, like The Greatest Showman and, like High School Musical back in the days, right? So, and what we're going to do is basically like a musical in a movie. That means we have the lead characters, like 5 people, and they're all friends. And what's basically happening is they are trying to become a cast of a musical. And that's what basically is the movie about. But it means like they're all kind of coming together, doing an audition and trying to get on that project, trying to make it work. And then, of course, they also have their private situations, their private problems and stuff like that. But the beauty about this is that we had the chance to also record songs, original songs. So that means they needed people who can sing and also act. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, that sounds like a great opportunity. So, and I applied, I auditioned for it, and I made it, and I play the husband.
Oh, yay.
Do I look like a husband?
Of course.
That's right.
Yeah, so
it's one more step closer to that.
That's right.
Yes.
Right. But but it's a great opportunity for me to combine what I love. So that was really like, I don't know. It's how that is, right? I mean, we all are passionate about something, right?
Absolutely.
And I feel like it's still kind of not an easy path today to also kind of make a living with something that you love or are passionate about, especially in the creative, in the art. You know how that is.
You're absolutely
and
right.
don't get me wrong, it's not about the money in the first place, but at some point you also have to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, that doesn't mean you have to become rich, but you just want to make sure, hey, I can make a living, but I can still do what I love.
Yeah, because that's truly living.
So, and that's the key message to me. When I came to LA, I had the feeling, okay, if I want to do what I love, that I'm passionate about, I think I have better chances to do it in the US than anywhere else.
I love that.
Because I mean, honestly, a lot of people ask me, Ben, are you crazy? Especially in Europe, some people say, are you crazy? Why did you leave Europe? We have Germany, like strong economy and all that kind of stuff. And, and then I was just like, you know what? I don't want to wake up when I'm 80 and I have to tell myself I've never tried it. I could not live with that feeling. I mean, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God, on so many levels.
And I really had that feeling, I think, when I was end of my 20s. I was like, I woke up that one morning. It's a true story. I woke up and I was like, something told me inside of me, my guts told me I have to do it. And what I did, I had this kind of side job at that time. And I went into my boss's office same day, same morning. And I looked him to the eye and it's like, I'm quitting today. And I was so serious that he started laughing. So he started, because he didn't believe me, but I re-signed via email the same day that everyone knew that I'm quitting actually, And then I did my notice period.
So he didn't believe you.
Oh,
you think he was laughing because he didn't really believe you?
I mean, we're cool, right?
So when you said it to everybody, that's when he was like, okay, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, before I was talking to some people about it and people like, yeah, man, of course, yeah, I know. But the funny thing is, which is kind of interesting to me, and that shows me that everyone has a passion or a dream, but not everyone is really taking the risk and trying to make it happen. Because when I quit the job, the same people who said, Ben, come on, you're not making it. They came up to me and said, Ben, I love that you do that. I have so much respect for that. And I was like, wow. Because I was like, wow, the same people who said the complete opposite is now are going for me or like supporting me now.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that's very interesting to me. And I feel like that you guys, also another thing I have to say about the US as a foreigner, you guys are more enthusiastic and positive about things. So in the US, it's more like if someone comes up with an idea, most Americans would say, I love that. Just go for it. Try it out. No, I'm serious. If you're going to see if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, you do something else.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, it's more like, Ben, that sounds nice. But have you thought about if it's not going to work out? And I was like,
oh, don't worry. There's enough of those around here. There's enough of those cats around here.
Let me take you around our
part.
Oh, seriously? Even in LA?
There's a lot of rain in Southern California.
Yeah, especially the older generation sometimes.
The
older generation sometimes is like, you got to have a job. You need to pay your bills.
Yeah.
That's when you'll see them. But you do have the creative minds that are like free spirits that will be like, oh, yes, just follow your heart. Follow the yellow brick road. Oh my, you know, so you do have those here.
You got all
Cali.
spectrum.
I mean,
okay, I can see that.
Yeah, those other people are called haters.
Yeah.
Haters.
I mean,
Haters.
Just simple.
Of
haters.
course.
I
But
love my haters, man.
What do they do for you?
They fuel
exactly,
me, baby.
Tiff. Way to say it.
But I feel like if someone hates what you do, or they're trying to pretend to hate what you do.
Ben.
That's what it is.
No, he breaking it down. They try to pretend.
Oh yeah, they're not really haters to me.
Yeah.
For me, these people are basically people who now understand. Wow, he's exactly doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You proved
Jealous.
it.
That's the bottom line.
Jealous.
That's a hater to me.
Yeah.
They're not really hating that. They're just kind of hating it themselves.
Something within
that they never tried it.
Right.
I think that's the bottom line.
It's bothering us.
So
Exactly.
and as soon as it took me a while to understand, and when I understood that, I was like, okay, easy. Because when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, what do people think about me? You know, is that all right? You know, because I also wanted to make other people kind of proud. It's also family. I mean, of course, family is a little different. I get that, but I'm coming from a more academic family. You know,
really?
You know,
Scholastic?
Yeah.
On that note, Ben, where do your influences come from? What influences you? What inspires you as an artist? What, you know,
as an artist?
Yeah. It could be anything from parents. It could be artists. What influences you? I would love to hear that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I'm German, but I'm a very sensitive person, I would say. You know, so
is that sensitive German? Is that?
I mean,
I don't think of Germans as sensitive.
Right?
No,
that's why
that's why I'm like, hold up, that don't go in. That's not right in that whole.
But just
maybe it's a new
definition
definition of what sensitive is. It's like let's go into that sensitive.
Why are you not aggressive?
But I think that I guess in order to know who really influences you, you have to be a sensitive guy. You have to be tapped in.
And you know, don't get me wrong. The thing, what changed my life. I mean, I can talk about it. I don't have a problem with that.
Oh, please.
I feel like if you really want to learn who you are, and you really want to be able to reflect yourself, I think you also have to go through bad times in your life. You know what I mean?
So that's your influence, things you've gone through.
Yeah, I mean,
Powerful.
I can talk about that. I mean, I lost my mom when I was 21.
Wow, we were all talking about that. That's
so,
good.
and I think, and I don't wish that to anyone, obviously. So you shouldn't really have to lose someone in your life to be able to understand who you are.
But for you
know, but it changed my life drastically because I was like, when I was 21, I was still a kid. You know, I mean, you know, men need a little longer. You know. You know what that is.
My babies.
But the thing is, like, I was still a kid, and when my mom left us, I had to change, and I changed in a second because now it was on me to understand. Okay, who am I? What do I want to do with my life, and how am I going to do this? Because before, my mom and I were really close. I was always like a mom kid, you know, and that was up to me. I was like, holy shit. How so can I say that? Sorry.
Yeah, you can say it. It's all good.
How am I going to do this? You know, and it took me a while because I don't know if something like that happened to you guys, but if something happens like that, you just fall into a hole and you don't really know what to do. You know, so you basically have to fight yourself out of it, and you just have to. And I was trying to do that with like going in, even into more work and trying to be more creative and trying to do the things that I love even more.
Awesome.
That helped me a lot.
Yeah.
That really helped me a lot. And I really started, I'm writing too, obviously, you know, so I did a lot of songwriting and I did a lot of like also screenwriting and stuff because I just felt like every time when I write, it kind of helps me. Even today, it helps me to free my mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
that's
it's
level.
no, seriously. I mean, it's I think, I don't know, LA can be very busy, right? And very stressful. And you'll be always, as I said at the beginning, always on the grind and hustling and trying to make it work and, you know, establishing yourself is superficial too. You know, I mean, I can't even tell you how many people I met like, oh, Ben, you're awesome. We're going to do something together, right?
Yeah.
I heard that so often. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, I was
hearing nothing.
Yeah. But at the beginning, I was so naive, and I was like, "Oh yeah, really nice, okay." Because I believed it. I mean, why not, right? I'm believing in the good things in
like,
people.
Where are you?
And then I basically, it never worked out. But just as a, you know, and then I just realized, okay, every time when I'm being creative and just writing or being on a project, and that's really what helps me to overcome also challenges, you know.
Wow.
Like it's this kind of balance that I feel we all need.
Yeah.
So
you know,
with those challenges and things that you got, I know you have a great thing coming up, because it seems like you've gotten through some things with your music now, with some artistry that you're doing where you're adding music to your acting, and then you got something else coming up in 2019 where you get to play another character. Is the name Leo something?
Oh yeah. Huh? That's right. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome, man. You know,
yeah,
it's a little sequel situation.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I just got to know, do you survive?
I can't tell you.
Oh.
Maybe,
but let them know. Let them know what's coming up, man. That's a huge situation.
So so what's basically happening is that I'm gonna play Leo Barnes.
Yeah.
In like The Purge. I mean, you guys know The Purge, right?
Purge, baby.
And there's gonna be there's gonna be like an adaptation of the last one, which was happening last year, right? Maybe you guys watched it, the first Purge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that just came up like last year. There was an audition, and I just got to the audition, and I was just like, it was also a little top secret, you know. It's always kind of secret.
Always,
I was like, why?
Secret.
But I just went up there, and it was like, okay, let me do this, you know. And you know how this character is, right? And I just did what I felt about the scene that we did, and I didn't hear back for a while, like a couple of months even, I think.
After
and then
your
at
audition?
Yeah. And then at some point, I just got an email. You know, like sometimes like out of the blue.
Text and email. Don't nobody call no more.
Yeah.
No, I just got an email. And it's like, still, you know, sometimes after months, you're just like trying to remember because you do a lot of them, right? And then just sometimes.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, this is something, it's going to happen, you know? Yeah. So, and that's basically something that I'm going to hear back hopefully next couple of weeks when the exact shooting dates will be and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Congratulations.
So I will definitely let you know. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
We better get our popcorn, guys, because we're going to be in the movie.
Oh, my God.
We'll be best friends.
We were friends before, right?
Well, the family, the dream family. We'll all go together.
No, but you know, the interesting thing is what I'm always saying, and that's also why we talked about, you mentioned the accent, right? That I'm trying to sound more American, especially for acting.
Right.
Oh, that part.
Because when I moved to the UK, I felt like I sounded even more German. I mean, I'm really trying, since I'm in the US, I'm trying to listen to you guys. Every time when someone is saying something, by the way, I'm listening to you guys very carefully.
Don't mimic me. It's traumatic. No, that would be weird.
It's great.
Okay.
No, it's great.
No,
seriously.
Oh, boy.
No,
but she comes.
First of all,
guys, come on. I didn't say that.
Okay. No.
But I thought it. No.
Okay, Ben, we appreciate the honesty.
No, but seriously, guys, what I just wanted to mention is, you know, it's something that you also have to accept in a way. If you're from Germany and you speak German and you look kind of German and you have light eyes, people love to cast you for German roles too.
Really?
I wonder why.
Really?
Exactly.
Okay, Trisha.
That's very true.
No, but you know what I mean, right? Because every time
we really know why.
But it's a no-brainer, right? I mean, and you know, the funny thing is, when I moved to the UK, there was also this one project, and they found me on this one website. I didn't even audition for it. I didn't even send out my resume or my profile or something. They found me online because I had something like a little profile on some website in the UK. We have Spotlight in the UK. Maybe you guys heard of it. Like Actors Access, right, in the US.
Okay.
And I was on Spotlight, but I was very new on Spotlight back then. And they just reached out to me, like this small little production, and they said, you know what, Ben, we want to do this production, and we need this German general playing a German, but he has to be younger, not like a 50-year-old general. We need someone like your age range, 28 to 30, because he was an exception back then in Germany. He was the youngest general trying to lead his team out of Italy. And I said, okay. And his name is Jupp Klein. He was really existing back in the day.
Say it again.
Jupp Klein. Jupp Klein.
I can't even say that.
Yeah. And now the funny thing is, at the end of the day, it turns out that this was basically a National Geographic production. For National Geographic, which is something, which is a big name, right? Which is a big TV channel, I think. And then at the end of the day, we did this show and we shot it in the north of London, and they made it look like Italy, like on a big field, and there were fires, and they even built houses looking like Italian houses and all that kind of stuff. And now at the end, which is just to let you guys know that you never know where something is leading you to. This show is now on Netflix.
There you go.
You know, isn't that kind of crazy though? Because
So
that's
awesome.
something that you never think about. And then it just turns out, and that's what I'm always saying to everyone who's coming to this country, because I think a lot of people come to the US and feel like, you know, I did some short films already in Germany or in Europe. I don't do this anymore.
Right.
I don't do these smaller projects. I want to be the big guy here now.
Oh, I know a lot of people
You know,
like that.
and you don't get me wrong, it's good to dream big. But I just talked to myself at the very beginning and I said, you know what? I do whatever it takes.
Whatever it
And I think
takes.
you have to. And I think even if this project sounds small today, doesn't mean that it's going to be big tomorrow.
Yes.
Now that's
Even
true.
in especially in our time of social media, you have to have the small project tomorrow because of a huge hype or whatever.
Oh, like
Boom.
the indie films, like they just blow up.
And I think then you would blame yourself that you didn't take part of it or something like that. You know? Anyway,
Exactly.
Man.
That's good.
yeah, I know I'm becoming very philosophical sometimes.
No, it's a good thing because you're saying the right thing. Because I mean, think about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Oh yeah.
like Will Smith, Tax Trouble. Get a call from Quincy Jones.
Wait.
It's like, come read
He
for
was broke.
this over at
Wait.
NBC.
Broke.
He read for it. NBC didn't like him. Called him back. Read for it again, and he was just like, okay, let's test with this guy. Tested with him a couple of shows. They end up liking him, and now look at it, syndicated.
History.
Quincy Jones did that?
Yeah, it was a Quincy Jones
Really?
production. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
about
Basically,
Benny Medina's life
Quincy Jones
from
saved,
Philly
saved Will
to
Smith.
Beverly
wow.
Hills.
That's
Yeah,
what he did.
That's so
He
funny.
saved
Yeah.
it.
I actually know I know Quincy Jones' niece, Tracy. Do you know Tracy?
I know Tracy.
Yeah, she lives in Germany now. I mean, she speaks German even.
Wow.
So yeah, she's such a nice person.
Yeah.
She's like, and every time when she speaks German, it's like, you speak German.
Always smart.
Yeah, I'm
Smart.
always shocked about that. So
Man.
that's a small world. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that Quincy Jones was producing TV shows.
Yeah. He came from scoring film.
Yeah.
Right.
He was scoring film, and then he's like, I'm going to try this
Right.
production thing, and
Right.
I got these relationships with the studio, so
Interesting.
try it. But
Yeah.
And by the way, what I just wanted to mention, talking about music, I don't know how much time we have left,
Right.
but
They're over there reeling it in. Production.
hello. No, but what I'm doing right now too is because what's happening in Germany right now, I think in Europe in general, is that music is changing too. So back in the days when I grew up in the 90s in Germany, it was all about like pop music out of the US, the UK. So we listened, as I said, boy bands, you know, like
Wow.
and sing Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, huge, massive, you know.
Oh yeah.
B2K even. Oh my God, B2K.
bum.
Oh,
Massive
I love
there,
these
huh?
guys. I love
Wow.
these guys. So, but now what's happening right now is that there is a huge like shift a little bit towards German music in German. And what's the big thing right now in Germany is German country music. I mean, country music is big in the US, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
especially in the South.
And I love, by the way, I love
a
country
cowgirl.
music. I
Right,
love country
me
music.
too.
I can say that. I love country
Tells a
music.
story.
Exactly. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for saying that, because I feel country music sounds a little more like the good old pop songs in from the 90s.
Oh, all of
Like
it talks
ballads
to you.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that, you know, because
Yeah.
they
I'll
give you
still
that.
have a strong meaning. There's really a story behind it. And that's what I love about it. And they really catch you too. So what's happening in Germany right now is the Germans realize, hey, you know what? We can also do German music in German too.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing right now is with someone in LA, actually, we are working on some German country music songs, trying to also like distribute them and trying to place them in Germany or the German speaking market, like Germany,
That's
Switzerland.
a great
and all.
project.
Yeah, it's because
awesome.
people connect with that. You know how that is.
Yeah.
If,
Most
if
definitely.
you hear your own language, like,
There you go.
you know, you got this.
So where are people going to be able to find you, man, and be able to see this music, hear it? So what on your social media?
Yeah.
Give us those handles so we know
Sure.
where to find you.
Sure.
And where are you putting your music out too?
That's right. So you can basically find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and it's literally, it's my first name, Benjamin,
Okay.
and my last name, Schnau. So I'm always saying, just think about the dog, just leave the Z-E-R out.
Okay.
And then you got it.
You
So
still got to spell it because
like
there's some people
Benjamin.
that's not going to get it.
Okay, gotcha. So it's Benjamin Schnau. This is Benjamin, Benjamin, and then Schnau.
Awesome.
One word.
Absolutely.
On Facebook and on Instagram too. And yeah, music, definitely. We're going to do a lot of stuff on Spotify, SoundCloud. If you just Google like Benjamin Schnau. I mean, as soon as you Google Benjamin Schnau, a couple of stuff is coming up. So you can't really miss it, actually.
All right.
Absolutely.
Man, well, we thank you, man, for blessing us and then coming out.
Thank you so much.
We gotta ask you one thing before we let you go.
Yeah.
I gotta find out, and our audience needs to know, what's your superpower?
My superpower.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My superpower is that I'm German. No.
Okay.
No. I think my superpower really is that I'm trying to be the kind of guy who has this pressure inside of me, that I really have, but I'm trying to come across like this cool, easygoing guy from the outside.
So you are.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm trying to find that one word.
Trisha's
you're an
normally
actor.
You're like, you're
Trisha's normally the one that
Trisha normally got
organizes for.
No, but seriously.
so you're a chameleon and you're keeping your emotions under control while still staying cool and collective. Like Journey said, you're an actor. You got it together and you're maintaining all that's within.
I got it. You're an iceberg.
An iceberg.
Yes.
Okay.
You're an iceberg.
You have to explain it to me.
Well, because on the water, you got the iceberg. You got the tip of the iceberg is
That's
what you
right.
show, but underneath, it's massive.
There you go.
That's a good one. That's a good
And
one.
beautiful
I love
description.
that.
I'm
love
seeing
that.
beauty visually as you
Wow.
describe it, that
Something
Tim.
That's
That's
it.
amazing. So my superpower is being an iceberg.
There you
right.
go.
Iceberg
Ice.
Slam.
I love that.
You got you solid, man, and you still got things to
Awesome.
show.
Coming back to
Yes.
Benjamin Snow.
There you go.
Oh, it's
Let's
something
give
to
it up
that.
for Benjamin
That's
Snow,
your
everybody.
That is it.
Yeah.
Way to shut this interview. That was
Drop the
wow.
mic.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
That's
If you ever
it.
want to read
That
about
was way better
Iceberg Slim,
Come
he was
on.
a pimp in South Central.
There he
Right.
was.
Okay, Journey.
There was a lot under the surface
he
there
just
too.
came in there with. Okay.
By the way, do you guys want me to
Good novels, man.
I mean, I don't know if you guys do that, but do you guys want me to sing for you like a little bit? Do you want to hear that?
I've
No
never
one-
had anybody ask
wow.
that.
Normally we try to put him
Why
on.
you-
Are you
Producers
going to sing in
producers looking
German
at us,
or
I'm
are you
gonna
going to
ask him,
sing?
No,
let's
I
go.
was just thinking because I'm a big Brian McKnight fan.
Yes,
Oh
just
my
give
God.
us,
I
give
love
us
that.
at least.
Give me a bar, man. Give me a
Give us a
bar.
bar.
I
That's
love
it.
Brian
Because
McKnight.
production
Let's go,
is going to have a
Iceberg.
conversation. Production will have a conversation with
It's going to
us.
be very warm now.
Absolutely. Come on, Ben. Let's do it.
All right.
Can't wait.
It's undeniable that we should be together. It's unbelievable how I used to say that I for never. The basis I need to know is you the way just how I feel. So let me show the time will reveal. Everyone in the house just say 1 is like a dream come true. 2, just wanna be with you. 3, girl, it's plain to see that you're the only one for me. Thank you, guys.
I'll just give you
That's what I'm saying when I'm saying boy band.
Wow.
You know,
Thank
that's
you,
my
man.
boy band influence
Shut
right
it
here.
down.
I'll take it.
Maybe
I'll
you
take
can
it.
hear it a little bit. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll work, man.
That was
Impressive.
worth
Thanks for letting me do
extended
this. I
time.
appreciate that.
Ben, goosebumps don't lie. I
Oh,
got
really?
him.
You got-
There you go. Good stuff,
Thank you.
man.
Appreciate it.
Look
And
at
you
Thank you
have
so
it.
much for having me.
Thank you,
Trip
man.
Digital Radio presents LA Style Magazine. Let's give it up for Ben Snow.
You can say snow now.
Encore.
Oh man.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff.
That was
Thank
good.
We'll be back.
Bye bye.